It is basically impossible to live a good life in the UK now.
They say food prices are going to potentially go up 50% before Christmas. 50% from today's prices in May.
The cost of living crisis is about to double as food prices are set to increase by 50% by the time it gets to November.
I've just done my weekly food shop at Sainsbury's, and what the actual hell?
Electric prices are going up. As of this month, everyone will pay a minimum of £290.
Sky TV, what have you done?
Big man actually live in the same country as the rest of us because people can't afford their electric, you know. I'm Shannon and I rant about the UK because it is actually on some bullshit.
This has absolutely blown my mind. Here's what you'd have been paying in 2020 versus 2024 for these 5 major items. Let's start with car insurance in 2020.
Unfortunately, this is a video that we didn't want to film, but sadly, we are going to have to close.
What a shame. This is what keeps happening constantly over and over again in our country. What is going on?
So what is happening in the property market at the moment? My name is Sarah Poskett and I have been involved in property for the last 20 years. So there's been a lot of chatter and a lot of you out there, this definitely strikes a chord a lot with you. So I thought it'd be really helpful to actually look at some facts and figures, see what is going on in the property market at the moment. So we are seeing average house prices at the moment in the UK around £268,000. But what I think is really interesting is actually across the UK, we're seeing annual growth over the last 12 months of around 1.3%, which if I'm being honest was actually a lot better than I thought it would be, because everything in the press at the moment is super negative. But interestingly, when we sort of look at those patterns across the UK, we are seeing a dip of around -1% in London, but interestingly we are seeing growth in the north of England and in particular across the northwest around 3%, which I think is really interesting. So in terms of transactions as well, we are actually down on the number of transactions completed, so around 0.8% as of the end of January 2026. Again, I don't think a massive surprise. There's not a huge amount of confidence in the market at the moment. But again, we look at supply and demand as well. So if we look at supply and demand, especially with new builds, I think in the last 12 months, we've seen around 208,000 new homes being built, set against a target of 300,000 homes being built. So again, we are seeing year after year after year, these targets not being met. Most people believe that this is down to 2 things. So one is around rising construction costs. So just basically it's less profitable for the house builders to build those houses, and also more issues with planning delays as well, which just basically is slowing down the building of new homes for people. Also really interesting at the moment, when we look at the number of people that instruct an estate agent to get their property valued, typically about 68% of those people will actually then go on to list their property for sale. That has dropped right down at the moment to 47%, which is actually a huge drop. So I think what is happening there is people are perhaps realising that their property is not worth as much as they thought it was, and they're thinking, actually, I'm going to wait it out for a little bit longer. I might list my property in the future at some point as well. Also, mortgage rates, they've been a little bit unsteady recently as well. So mortgage rates are always a key driver, and I think...
Welcome to your daily reminder that in the United Kingdom, prices now seem to rise more reliably than the sun. Honestly, does anything stay the same price anymore? The food's bloody up again. They say by 50% again by November. The bills, rent, and even the sodding insurance. Even things nobody wanted in the first place somehow cost more now. And the worst part is, there's no end in sight. Every month it's another adjustment, another necessary increase. People are near breaking point with it, not just struggling, worn down.
you'd have been paying £474 versus £639 in 2024. That's a 34% increase in monthly payments. Pet insurance was £271 in 2020 versus £403 in 2024. That's a 48% increase. My train ride, which is from Inner Hampshire to London, a return ticket, was £28.50 in 2020 versus £38.40 in 2024. That's a 35% increase, even though weirdly they claim it's a lot less. I'm just going by my receipts. Moving on to the average weekly shop, this is per person, and you'd have been paying £32.17 in 2020 versus £54.30 in 2024. That's a saccharine 68% increase in basic food costs, and that's a week as well, not a month. Then you've got average rent, which would have been £821 in 2020 versus £1,223 in 2024. That's a gut-wrenching 48% increase for possibly the nation's biggest outgoing for some. In this time, wages have only grown between 14 and 18% for the average UK worker. With it already being tight enough as it is, this is just mental. What do you guys think? Let me know below.
Normally go to Tesco, but we've moved far away from Tesco now. We don't live near one, so I thought I'd try Sainsbury's this week, and I just honestly cannot believe it. I spent over £100 and all I've come out with is dinner ingredients, a loaf of bread and dinner ingredients. It's a little bit of a slight exaggeration. I obviously have got more than that because there's no way this girly or my kids aren't surviving on no snacks this week. But still, I wanted to get myself a trifle because, shock horror, there is no diet going on in my house again this week. And I was eyeing it up like it was designer luxury, mate. £3.20 for a trifle. Nah, not in the tax bracket this week, babe, so I'll put that back. With food prices and fuel, like, we're actually finished. Like, we're actually finished. Oh my God. So I guess my snacks this week will be sucking the leftovers out of my stir-fry sauce or eating, like, peelings of potatoes.
According to the Energy and Climate Intelligence Unit, climate and energy shocks, which have been heavily driven by Trump's war on Iran, have almost quadrupled the pace of food price growth, with the think tank adding that this could potentially send inflation to a new extreme. To put into perspective how bad and how serious this is, in 2021, just 2 years into the pandemic, the national minimum wage was at $8.72 per hour. As of now, May 2026, the national minimum wage is at $12.71 an hour. So in the last 5 years, people's wages have increased by less than £4. And it's not just the food prices that are rapidly increasing. We're also looking at council tax, we're looking at energy bills, we're looking at gas, petrol. But you know who's actually happy? Food companies like Co-op, who have recorded 100% profit despite a tricky year, as the BBC called it. And as Anna Taylor, the executive director of the Food Foundation, said, food prices rising this high and this fast leaves families on the lowest incomes with nowhere left to cut except the food on their plate. And when that happens, people skip meals, children go hungry, and diet-related illnesses increase, something that our NHS cannot afford. Companies are still recording the highest profits ever, yet the lines at food banks are getting longer. And with the little help that is provided to working class families and those in need, this will be really felt by the time it gets to winter. And these companies are still expecting the same amount of work and labor from their employees in these conditions and with this pay.
So I've got a question for you all. So council tax, as we all know, has gone through the roof. Household bills, your gas, your electric, your water rates, it's just fucking ridiculous. Food prices are astronomical as well. But one of the big reasons the council have said that council tax has gone up by so much is because of adult social care. Because people are living longer. Fair enough. Need more money for that. So if that's the case, riddle me this. Why is my dad having to sell his fucking house to pay for his care and needs in a care home at £1,250 a week? Why is he having to do that if this adult social care has gone up because people are living longer and obviously going into care homes and need looking after? I'd like to know where this money's gone, because I don't believe it's going on adult social care. I think the council's sticking it somewhere fucking else. Just don't trust them at all.
People are choosing between heating and eating like it's some grim budget challenge. You can't get a doctor's appointment unless you call at 8 AM like it's a fucking Hunger Games. And even then it's sorry, no appointments left. Good luck surviving. No, but seriously, who is that speech actually for? Because it's not for the people sat in the dark. It's not for the people refreshing their GP app. It's not for the ones watching prices rise faster than their fucking wages. Rent's feral. Food prices are unhinged, everyone's exhausted, everyone's anxious, and you're saying defeat the declining division like it's a spy you just unlocked. You're mad. You think you can fix a broken country in 1 year, big man? 1 year won't even fix the NHS waiting list, yeah? Install faith back into your political party. People don't lack faith, they lack results. Faith doesn't come from slogans. It comes from people being able to live without constant panic. This isn't declining division, it's survival mode. I'm too loud to be ignored, big man. Hit follow for more chaos.
That is crazy. They're forecasting inflation could be as high as 6.75% by 2027. That's only 8 months away, guys. So let me get this right. Inflation at 6.7% at the end of the year. Keir Starmer wants it at 2%. So that basically means we've got a massive, massive difference there. We're going to owe, if interest rates go up, then our borrowing as a country is going to go up. So Rachel Reeves is going to want more tax. Already in the high street, we're seeing major brands go bankrupt. Let me list you some. I've written them down. Here we go. So we've got here Brewers Fayre and Beefeater closing 198 pubs. We've got Wren Kitchens, 15 outlets. Claire's, the retail outlet, 154, laying off 1,300 people. William Hill, Tops Tiles, The Real Greek, all closing retail centres. There's something big happening. Wait until hospitality feels this, guys. Wait until we get later in the year, when we get through this summer, we could be facing some real difficult times. Airlines around the world are already forecasting potential bankruptcies. A couple have gone bankrupt already. They're already talking about, they're saying, we got nothing to worry about. There's loads of aviation fuel, no stress. And now Keir Starmer's meeting airline people saying, well, if you've got half full planes, you can cancel one flight, push everybody onto the other flight, and they can all go out on that flight to save jet fuel. I thought we had no problems with aviation fuel. So something, guys, big is amiss. We've got a potential COVID-style lockdown on our way. Something major's happening. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. But if food prices go up 50% by Christmas, we're all going to be tightening our wallets, tightening our belts, and we're going to be careful about what we're spending. And as soon as that happens, the high street feels it. And you'll see more retailers going under, and then we're going to just find ourselves in this downward spiral. In the meantime, Keir Starmer thinks it's a cunning plan to give 78 billion, or to join a 78 billion charity donation to Ukraine, which the EU are starting up, because he wants to be closer to the EU. So he wants to keep the Ukraine war going, be part of a 78 billion pound loan, and we're going bankrupt. Is it me, or is that guy just absolutely crazy? And apparently he's doing a great job, and nobody else could lead the country any better than Keir Starmer could. Really? Come on. It's time for change, guys. Local elections coming up next week. Do not let them get away with this terrible behaviour, destroying our country, destroying our economy, affecting our day-to-day lives, because apparently they've got working people at heart, and all the working people are losing their jobs. Chat to you soon. Take care.
I bet you can't find a more expensive charity shop than this. And it's expensive because we're in one of the richest parts of London and it's full of designer items. You might think charging £490 for a leather jacket in a charity shop is crazy, but someone who lives around here will know that this jacket retailed for £1,500 and will probably think they got themselves a bargain. I always get comments like, nobody's buying anything in there. It is packed in here. There are people queuing for the till. And I think sometimes people don't realise how expensive designer is nowadays. This Gucci skirt would have been at least like £1,200. So for someone, £450 is a bargain. I mean, it's well out of my budget and complete madness to me, but for other people it won't be. I did love this Farici, is it? I don't know how to pronounce it. This leather kind of trench. It did have a couple of marks, but that was 110. Also, you either love or hate these, and to be honest, I quite like them. These Mason Margiela trainers were $250, which I did think was a bit high due to the condition. I would also say as well, the high street brands are pretty overpriced. Like, I'm sure you'll be able to find this Bowden blazer for less than £58 in another charity shop somewhere, but you're definitely not going to find Laura Piano anywhere else. Like, this shirt would have retailed for £500, £600, £700, which is madness for such a basic t-shirt, but here it's £140. I am absolutely gutted that this Longchamp bag was not in great condition, otherwise that would have come home with me. I've been looking for like a leather tote. It just has some quite deep creases and like some wear to the handles. Never heard of this designer before, but the long sleeve version of this dress retailed for $2,500. So here you're paying about, what, 10% of retail? If you're into your designer, it's well worth a visit.
When did it become so expensive
to eat clean. And I'm talking like no processed foods, no ultra processed foods, because I've just been for my weekly shop, right? And I was like, oh my days, why is it still increasing in price? I've spent over £50, and that might not seem a lot, but that's for one person. That is for one person that I've spent £50 on. That's not for a family of 4, that's not for a family of 2, that's not for a couple, that is for one person. So can you imagine if a family of 4 wanted to eat clean? They didn't want any processed stuff like pot noodles or something like that. They wanted to eat like chicken, beef, they wanted fruit and veg, they wanted to eat clean, right? Which to me is very normal. I don't understand as a society how we've got to a point where, and I'm going to give you an example from the other day where I was walking down the coast with a tub of watermelon, and the looks I was getting off people as if I was like weird, like really, really weird. I don't personally think it's weird, like, but them same people wouldn't batter an eyelid or wouldn't even look twice at me if I had a bag of McDonald's and eating chips and eating burgers. Like, is that where we've got to as a society? Now, I'm not begrudging any fast food or whatever in moderation, because let's face it, it's just, it is nice sometimes. Not all the time though. But have we become so normalized as a society to eating processed foods, to eating fast food, that me eating a watermelon is like, and I'm talking like watermelon fingers, like all cut up, that it's become so normalized to eat not clean, like. But yeah, since when did it become so expensive to want to go to a supermarket or go to a farm shop for like fruit and veg and everything else? Because it's becoming more expensive as the weeks go by.
And trust me, I know from experience. January last year, I hit absolute rock bottom financially, and I've been trying everything possible over the last nearly year and a half to sort it out. But let me give you some real life figures to actually make it hit home to you. So our mortgage, I've rounded it up to the nearest 100 at £1,300. Our council tax, 180. Our energy, about 200. Water, £60. Phone bills for 2 people, roughly £80. Fuel, £100 to £150. Food, £400 to £500 a month. Insurances, I've put these combined, you know, life, car, house insurance, £70 to £80. Car finance, because most of us have to buy a car on finance because we just can't afford a car outright. If you're lucky, £100 to £200 a month. Just those essentials, essential bills and food, etc., come to £2,750 for essential living. Now, if you have children, it's a whole nother ball game, isn't it? If you have young children that have to go to nursery while you work, you are looking at probably about £600 to £1,000 a month in childcare costs. And if you have older children like me that have to go to wraparound care while you are working, you're looking at roughly £50 to £100 a month. And according to my research, although I'm sure a lot of people earn less than this, the average monthly income after tax for the average UK person is £2,000 a month, working full time. So let's say there's 2 of you working full time like there is in my household, £4,000 coming in each month. £2,800 basically going out the door on essentials, bills, food, fuel, etc. For instance, let's say you have younger children and your childcare bill comes to roughly £800. You're bringing in £4,000 and £3,600 is going straight out again, not taking into consideration any debts that you're repaying, saving money, any spending money. So you're left with roughly £400 a month to save, pay debts, spend on things if you need a haircut, if you need things for the house, if you need bog roll, to be able to live your life, £400 for a family. And this is what really gets me. It's not about people not managing their money or not being good with money or spending too much. This is literally about people being unable to survive on the wage we have with the outgoings that we have. Now, like I say, I hit complete financial rock bottom at the beginning of 2025. I have got us into a much better situation right now. We're paying off debt. We are slowly saving money. I found little tips and hacks and tricks along the way, which I share all the time on my socials. So do drop me a follow if you need a hand. There might be something in my content that can help you, and I just share the reality, the norm, the normal budget life that the majority of us are living. Hiya. Thank you.
No,
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, bye. It's so heavy. Oh. For the first time ever, my weekly food shop this week was free because I had £150 in Uber credits to use. So I literally thought, why not splurge it on a whole massive food shop for the week. Also, if you wait till the end of the video, I'm going to be giving away some Asda vouchers to you guys for free to help you get some bits for your weekly food shop. I've never ever actually done a food shop using Uber. I didn't even realise you could, but because I had the Uber credits, I thought I may as well just do it. Now I'm going to do a weekly food shop haul that nobody actually asked for. Bag number 1, we've got some fruit and grain strawberry bars, banana and chocolate chip soft baked bars, some Tom Bears, David's favourite crisps, and mine as well. 2 pots of Quaker Oats porridge, the golden syrup, some bananas, some red onions. On to bag 2, eggs, some gravy because I've literally run out of gravy the other day when I did a sausage casserole. Some rigatoni because on my menus this week I'm doing some chicken and chorizo pasta and you just need rigatoni with that. I definitely did not order these, so I think they've kind of substituted these. These are the Skinny Whip double chocolate bars, which absolutely fine. Some chocolate Barney bear cakes. Nova absolutely love these. Apple and pear juice, this is actually elite. Some apple juices for Nova. Bag 3, some multigrain hoops, some wraps, some Victoria sponge cake, some crumpets. There is so many crumpets in there. Bag 4, some chorizo for my chicken and chorizo pasta, some honey roasted ham, a pint of milk, some Le Pat butter because I actually just ran out of butter yesterday. Bag number 5, we've got some sweet and sour sauce. I have never made sweet and sour chicken before and I don't know how to actually make sweet and sour from scratch, so I just bought one of these to try it with. Never really used a jar of like curry or sweet and sour or anything before, so we're gonna give it a go. And then 2 lots of plain rice. Number 6, I think I'm now. Some Yorkshire puddings, some sausages because I am actually gonna do a sausage casserole again because it's literally my favourite. Well, it's all of our favourites in the house actually. Got a few of these healthy ready meals. This is the Thai red chicken curry ones. All of these are just unreal from Asda. Got this chicken and chorizo paella. There's a little thing going on here with chicken and chorizo. Got some frozen peas. Bag number 7, some grated cheese, some cheese strings, 2 of these little lunchable snacks for Nova because she likes pickle on them, some cheese, little squares because she loves cheese. If you guys watch my videos, you will know how much my daughter loves cheese. Some Munch Bunch yogurt, some fruit yogurt, some Nestle Ski strawberry and raspberry yogurt, a couple of the Muller Light toffee yogurt, some Philadelphia Light, a fresh orange juice, smooth of course because who on earth has bits in their orange juice. I think this may be bag number 8 now, is it? 2 more ready meals. We've got the white wine chicken, got the chicken paella, salt and pepper chicken, and 2 lots of ready done mash. Who on earth actually sits and does mash because I'm too lazy. Bag number 8 or 9? Can't remember, we'll find out when I edit the video. Some salt and vinegar rice cracker snack jacks, these are delicious. Some chocolate rice cakes, Ritz crackers, my absolute favourite, I would have these over crisps any day. Some Warburton's extra thick toasty bread, some yogurt coated raisins. Bag number 9, some chicken breasts for sandwiches, some 10% broccoli, some vegetables, actually 2 packs of vegetables for my stew. Some pineapple, I don't know why they gave me 2 pineapple fingers, I only ordered 1. Yeah, 2 pineapple fingers, some watermelon slices because Nova is obsessed with watermelon in a minute. Broccoli, did I order this? Some peppers, and I'm hoping in this one is the fruit because if not, then I'm missing some bits. Bag number 10, 9, 10. A chicken pasta salad, some strawberries, some raspberries and blueberries, some red grapes, some spring onions, cucumber, single cream, 2 lots of diced chicken breast. I also got a crate of waters and some nappies for Nova. Over £150, I don't think it's too bad, but I actually got it for free, which is amazing. I didn't actually realise that I could use my Uber credits on the Uber Eats side. I only found that out last night, so last night we got a takeaway because I actually had £250 of credits. And today I've done a big food shop, so I've put it to good use. Like I did promise, I am going to be giving away a few food vouchers to people in the comments. All you have to do is like the video, save the video, repost the video, there's a little repost button, and comment on the video, and I'll be picking some people at random to send a few food vouchers to for Asda. By the way, I'm paying for all of this myself, it's not sponsored, I'm just doing it to give back to you guys. I've done it a few times with different supermarkets like Aldi and M&S, but this week, because I got my food shop from Asda, we're going to do Asda. And now it's time to actually put it all away and fill the fridge, which I'm dreading. I hate putting food shopping away.
So I don't really have a point to this video, right? But I'm making it anyway because I don't know, like I'm actually thinking, but what's the point? I think the point is, for me anyway, is that life is not linear. It's not a constant uphill climb. There's going to be times where you basically fall down, and I think social media is the main difference between every generation previously and our one. Like, if you're round about my age in your 30s, then just stop for a minute and think. None of our parents, grandparents or previous generations ever had to deal with social media. And I don't believe that you should come on here and like tell the world your whole business. I don't think you should do that. However, I think you can be authentic without going into like private details. Because obviously, like every other human on the planet, there's so many parts of life that I will never share online. Things that you would be shocked to hear, things that you'd probably never know just by watching a video, right? But I don't think you should share everything. I think you should have your private life and you should have a social media presence. And working between them can be tricky. The more you post anyway, the more tricky it is. But I just had to message my son's football coach and say, I'm really sorry for the payment delay, but I'll pay you tomorrow. So there's two things in that. One, don't ignore stuff. Don't just ignore it and hope that it goes away. Because even me, I've had clients delay payments or be late or whatever. If they just said, look, you know, I'll pay you tomorrow or something, then that really does make a difference compared to just ignoring somebody. So I know how it feels on both ends of the deal. But also I genuinely didn't have enough money to pay him yet until basically tomorrow. Yeah, that might be very irresponsible to some people. To other people it might be relatable. And then to other people, they simply don't care. So I'm not here to make others feel a type of way. I'm literally just telling them that because I think a lot of social media is about, like, I could sit here and post about all my holidays, I could sit here and post about anything really. I could even lie or make up stuff on social media. I've never done that, but I'm just saying how easy it would be. And yet I'm here to say that even if you've got a job or a business or whatever, it doesn't mean that life is just perfect. Like, you're still gonna have bad days. I've even known people that have been earning, you know, the top 1% of UK earners. So basically they earn, like, their turnover is in the millions basically. I've known people, like family members, who have maybe reached those milestones, and guess what, unfortunately life is life. It can all get taken away like the very next day, genuinely. So I think it's very important to be aware of that, and I think for me it does play an effect. Like today I'm dressed how I feel. I just feel this is the colour of my mood today. And I think that does come partly from like the financial pressure side of life, but I also think, sorry my throat, I also think that it's important at times. Maybe I think God does that to you sometimes just to like wake you up a little bit and make you see things differently, because if you're far too comfortable, and by comfortable what I mean is you're just kind of staying here where bills are paid and you're kind of like able to buy a few things, but you don't move, you don't have bad days and you don't have extremely good days, if that makes any sense. So therefore you're far too comfortable, you're never really going to question yourself. But I think when you have those low days, you actually think, what the fuck are you doing? Part is taking responsibility. So could I have done more to prepare for this week where it's very slow, there's a lot of cancellations, a lot of people have swapped, or I even had a couple of like people like basically quit on me. in the past few weeks. So when I say quit on me, what I mean is like quit their cleaning service, you know, things have gone wrong or whatever. And the thing I need to do is, on top of everything, obviously give myself grace, like don't beat myself up. Like we all know that even I come online and I see a lot of two-parent households struggle at times. So me being on my own with a child obviously isn't pure easy. I wish it was. I wish it was easy for everybody, but we don't live in that kind of country. But back to my point, so the reason I'm sharing this is because if one day I'm lucky enough to be able to share like more successful parts of my life, like more financial abundance and more, like if I do complete some of my goals in life financially, then at least I'll always know that, you know, back in what month we're in, May 2026, I couldn't afford my child's football club, even though I'll pay it tomorrow, but you know what I mean. So that's just part of life, that is part of the process in my opinion. I'm just speaking for myself. And also, yeah, I don't think we should be shamed for that or even like shame ourselves. I genuinely do think it's probably way more common than we realise, but we just don't come online and like tell everybody like, hi, guess what? Like it's not really something to be proud of, but it's also not something to be shamed of. It's just something neutral. It's part of life. Get over it. At least you've still got your two legs, we've still got our health. There's a lot worse things that could be happening, and I don't mean that in a sense where I'm not taking responsibility. I am, and I do. I'm aware that you can't neglect all your outgoings and your bills, and it's hard at times. You just want to be like, fuck this, like I'm sick of it, I'm just going to go on a big shopping spree, but you can't do that obviously. You need to meet yourself where you're at, and I think I'm doing a good job in terms of like, I've worked hard over the years to get my outgoings as low as possible, and I think that's a big part of getting out on the other end. Because see, if your outgoings are extremely high, oh my god, like it's going to be a lot harder to basically ever get out of that cycle. Whereas if you start off really low, you've kind of got more, you've got a start in place, and then everything that you add on top of that, like more clients, bigger business, whatever, more career progression, it means that you've got, you know, a bit of extra really to invest or do whatever you want to do. Spoil yourself, whatever it is.
Good evening. Fuel prices in the UK have increased dramatically and a potential shortage is just around the corner. But how are the British public coping? We sent our reporters around the country to find out more.
Getting some fuel today, sir? Yes, this petrol station is the cheapest in the country. That's why I've driven 200 miles to get here, so I can get a full tank for £3 less.
What do you think about the fuel prices?
I got a full tank for 40 quid the other day, so I was quite happy with that. It was for my lawnmower, but I'm trying to stay positive.
What do you think of the petrol prices?
It doesn't bother me. It doesn't cost me anything to fill my car up.
Oh, is it electric?
No, it's petrol, but I just drive off without paying.
How have you been affected by the petrol prices going up?
I haven't been affected at all. I only ever put £20 in, so it's still costing me the same.
What have you got to say to the British public who are sat at home right now and might be worried about the current fuel prices?
Well, if they took net zero seriously and bought an electric car like I've been telling them to, they wouldn't have a problem, would they?
How have you been affected by fuel prices?
I've stopped selling Coke and pills and I'm just dealing red diesel now instead. Bigger profit margins.
What's your views on the fuel shortage?
I'm happy, but I'm just annoyed that it took a war to stop oil and not my friend gluing themselves to a road or throwing soup at a painting.
Hello?
Hiya, how are you?
Amazing. Ralph, nice to meet you. Apparently you got the TV for 50 grand.
TV? 50,000?
Yes.
We have Bio Harmony. It's not 50,000. This is we have a 96-inch TV.
So,
it depends what kind of speakers you're going for as well. Speakers that have are 50,000. Theatre in a 65-inch with the BLAB 50s, which then make that whole setup around 65, 70,000.
but when I see it, I want to feel like I'm there.
Okay.
Even better.
Take a seat in there and I'll give you a demo. And you slice my finger open in the drawer.
Oh, did you? Oh, my. Good that I'm not a vampire.
So I can either put it in narrow mode, which gives you this perfect centre point into you, or we can do it to a wide mode, so if you had a lot more people here, you can have it so.
Feels like I'm there.
These are the remotes that you get as well, so they're made out of complete solid aluminium.
Oh my days.
So this is what it does. Okay? So
It's like Transformer.
basically, yeah. Or just to impress your friends, you know? So
this restaurant has been running for 28 years. It's a small restaurant and it's got to the point that even though the owners adore running it, they've got a few other restaurants that they love running, it's just become completely unsustainable to keep it going. And that's because small business owners are being penalised over and over again. Rising costs, increase of employers' NI, business rates. There is nothing in their favour at the moment. So how are they supposed to survive? They can't catch a break. These big corporations are using all the legal loopholes that they can to reduce their taxes. But small business owners, like this restaurant, are the type of people who are struggling in this country. The government need to make major changes. But what do you think they need to implement first? Let me know what you think in the comments below.
£100 on a food shop. It sounds fine until you actually break it down. Let's have a look.
So first of all, milk, bread, eggs, pretty essential. So you're talking probably £10 to £15. Again, it's going to be different depending on where you shop, but they're basics. Meat for a few meals, probably £20 or £30. Fruit for the kids, £10. Freezer bits, £10 to £15. You're already at £60 to £70 gone. And you haven't got a lot so far, okay? You haven't even got a full shop. So adding your extras, so your snacks, your packed lunches, extra cleaning bits, your laundry tablets, and suddenly the £100 plus is just gone. And if you're a family, that isn't even going to last the week. So when people just say, budget better, what exactly are we meant to cut? Because this isn't overspending. Let me know what your shop is and if you've got any tips. Let's see if we can save some money between us.
Do you think that 18 quid for a 2.5 kilo chicken is a lot of money? Now bearing in mind this chicken is going to feed the two of us for an entire week. So what happened was, a few days ago I posted on my TikTok that I'd been food shopping, and I posted a picture of the chicken, and it was in with my videos, and I had a load of comments like this, including one from my stepmom that said if she bought a chicken for 18 quid, my dad would kill her. And I thought, I don't think 18 quid is a lot of money for a chicken that's going to feed the two of us for a whole week. I mean, a chicken that's only going to feed you for one day, yeah, that's a lot of money. But a chicken that's going to feed the two of us for a whole week, I think that's actually quite good value for money. So I just thought, I can't really be in the minority here, can I? I know we're skinning quite a lot. We've struggled quite a lot recently, especially this year. This year's been we've been brassic. But when I have got a little bit of money, and it is a free range chicken, I think 18 quid for a piece of meat that is going to feed us for an entire week, lunches and dinners, I think that's quite good value for money. What do you think?
Even if you don't use the units, you still have to pay this. It's basically because the national grid is in the shit, and to prevent collapse, they need to charge everyone a minimum of £290. It's not that far off anyway, is it? Which is funny. And I thought this because I had we pay over £200 a month for gas and electric, and from July it said it was going down to about 150, but that's changed now, and it's still where it is. I've not thought to ring up and question it because we're going in a few months and it's nicely building up to a little bit of an extra payout before we go. But yeah, £290 minimum for electricity. Wow.
Right? What you've actually done is you've put my subscription up by £17. It's now coming out every month at £125.92p. Okay? Now then, I rang up because of the increase and said I wanted to cancel. And I was told I've got to pay £400 plus immediately for them to begin the process of cancelling my subscription. That ain't right. That ain't right. The thing didn't do anything. It's ridiculous. And so basically what they're saying is, we can increase your subscription to what we like. If you want to cancel, you've got to pay £400 plus immediately. Well, I'm sorry, it isn't happening, and I'm just taking it further. Let's see what happens. Just keep following, then you'll know.
I want to talk about the legal fiction that we've all been given when we're born. I've mentioned this in the past and sometimes just in passing, and I've had some amazing guests that have explained this more fully to me. I made a video about this, I don't know, February and March. But since then, of course, the channel has grown and there's been many more viewers, so some people may not have heard this. My understanding, of course, has grown greater on this. There are some people who say that this isn't a thing, that it is irrelevant, that it confuses issues, and there's others that say it is definitely the thing and it is the answer to getting out of so many things. So I may make some mistakes on this because my understanding is very limited, of course. I've only been looking at these things for a very short period of time, but it seems more important now that we understand who we are and who we're not. And so, firstly, let me put it this way. I remember saying in one of my videos, I am my own person. And a very nice man called Stuart got in touch with me and he said, no, Richard, you're not a person. And I said to him, what are you talking about? That just seems like semantics, because he said you're a living man. Well, of course, I understand now that a person, according to the legalese of it in Black's Law Dictionary, a person is a non-entity. It is a dead thing. It isn't a real living man. And of course, I am a living man. A person is part of your legal fiction. And you might say, what the hell is a legal fiction? Well, we know now that we live in this corporate Britain, and we'd rather be in a sovereign Britain, free, out of this corporation where we're being treated as if we are basically a dead entity all the time. And that is true. When you're born, you may have heard this many times, of course, when you're born, your parents inform the registrar that you have been born, that of your birth. Now, a lot of this is connected to the law of admiralty. I won't get into that because that is part of it, but it can be quite confusing if you're new to this. The parents inform the registrar and he writes out a record of your birth, which is changed into your birth certificate. You get a copy. You don't get the original, of course, because the original, as I understand it, is then bonded and put into a trust with the Treasury. So the Treasury, as I understand it, puts in a certain amount of money, and then this bond, this trust, is floated on the stock market and is making money. You, of course, are really the executor of this trust, and the government, the and the legal department of the government and the banking part of the government are merely the trustees. And in a trust, there are three parties. There's the settler or the executive who sets it up and who's in charge, which you can claim if it's you. There's the trustees who carry out the necessary work, and then there's the beneficiary. Well, it's in your name, it's your trust, so you're the executive and the sole beneficiary, and the government are actually the trustees of this fund, or the bankers, or the legal department, however you want to look at it. This goes on. Of course, they don't tell you this. So although this trust is set up, in a way it's null and void, because you have to know that the trust is there to be part of it, and if like in a contract, both people are not, the contract is not disclosed, the terms and conditions are not disclosed to both parties, then actually it is null and void. However, they don't tell you this, and the bond is out there and it's making money. You have an enormous amount of money, potentially millions of pounds in this trust fund, which you, unless you claim it, is beneficiary to the government. But it is actually yours. And so this, then you get a name, which has been the one that's registered, which is your name, and you'll notice all the communication from official bodies like the government is your name in capitals. Now, this capitalisation you think is in English, but it's legalese, dog Latin, if you like. It's in another language, because this is from the dictionary of Black Law's Dictionary. And Black Law's Dictionary, which is this bar guild dictionary of the courts, of the legal system, of the corporation that the government use, which of course is Roman originally and part of canon law. But don't let any of that confuse you. It's just that when you get a letter and it comes and it says your name, what you think is your name, because it looks like English, because it's in capitalisation, it comes to you and says you've got to pay your council tax and this is the bill, and there it is, it says Richard Vobes in capitals. That's not you. That is a legal fiction. Some people in America call it the straw man. I don't really like that term. It seems woolly and not 100% accurate. To me, legal fiction is better, because this is just a name. It's a dead thing. It's on a piece of paper. It's not you, because you are a living man or woman. This is you. This is how you identify yourself, by your living status, not a piece of paper with words in capitalisation. Now, it's important to understand this very fundamental thing, because very often bills or summonses, court proceedings will all be in this legal fiction. And you do have to understand that what they're referring to is not you. You are, in fact, not only a living man or woman, but you are the executor of the estate. So think of this as if you've got a parent who's died and left you to be in charge. You know, when you, and I had to do this with my father, when you are the executor of a dead person's estate, you pay the bills out of his money in his bank. The dead person's money in the dead person's bank. You settle all the accounts. That is your role. That is the role that you are actually playing when you get a bill from the government or a government official, and it says, like the council tax or a speeding ticket or any of those sort of things, and it has your name and it's in capitalisation. They're talking about this dead entity. So picture it as if it is a dead relative and you are the executor of that estate. You see, you're the executor of this estate, which is this name, which is based on your birth certificate. So you're looking at it, it says Richard Vobes. And what happens is you make the mistake and give them the money out of your bank, your savings, your earnings. But there's this trust fund already set up. So when you get this speeding ticket or your council tax or your inland revenue bill or whatever it is, the money's already there. It's in the trust fund, and you are the executor of that trust fund. So when a bill comes in, you just say, oh, okay, I'll pay you the money, no problem at all. And you instruct them effectively to take the money out of your trust. Of course, they don't want you to know this, and they won't help you do this, but this is what's going on. Now, in future videos, I'm going to bring on my friend Stuart, who's been doing a lot of this work, and he can prove that he's been doing this because he's been doing it for some time. And we're going to go through this in a bit more detail so it can help you understand that there is a way to claim that trust and to instruct people. And very often what happens is they don't want to reveal the trust, and so they drop the charges. They make it so that you don't even have to go to court, because you see, in a court, a magistrate, for example, will have a public oath, an oath to the public. But he won't tell you that he also has an oath to the Bar Guild, the secret oath to the lawyers, to the court, to the judges, to even your solicitor. They won't tell you, the judge won't tell you that he has these two oaths, which you can't possibly have. So you can challenge them and say, well, which oath are you actually operating under? Are you operating under the Bar Guild oath, or are you under the public oath? And which one is it? You can start to challenge. This gets very complicated, and you need to be very brave to go down this road and fully understand. But the purpose of me telling you this is just be aware that actually you are the executor of an estate that appears to be in your name, but it's the trust that's been set up in your name, and other people, the government, the bankers, are earning money on that. Well, that clearly is not right. But in a corporate Britain, where they're dealing in...
You can see it in shops, hear it in conversations, feel it in the general mood of the country. Everyone calculating. Everyone cutting back. Everyone quietly wondering how much further this can go. I will see you all in the next video.